Hey, welcome. I'm just reading a prayer book. Getting my mind right. Getting myself into a good state. The highest state. Good evening, my love. My day was good, thank you. It is good. Going well. How about you? Hey, Stephen. The topic today is spiritual missions, life dreams. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about it, but I just know that's what it is, and maybe other things as well, but that's what came to me. So, how's everyone's day been? Welcome to the chat, guys. I'm going to start this chat by just inviting you to drop in with me for a little meditation prayer. Before we begin, all get on the same level. Calm. So I invite you to close your eyes if you want to and just listen to the guidance. And just bringing your attention to your breath. And I just want to begin this meditation by saying thank you for another day on earth, another opportunity to express, another opportunity to experience. And just really feeling that gratitude flood through the body. We really don't know how many days we get to experience this planet in these beautiful bodies, so it's a really important reminder to be grateful for this moment and all the mysteries that are contained in the moment. So just taking a deep breath in through the nose, all the way down into the belly, feeling your body expand with your breath in, and then feeling your body relax with your exhale, feeling any tension just melt away. Knowing that when you enter the present moment, you enter into infinite possibilities. Just taking a moment to notice the stillness between thoughts. And as you continue to breathe deeply into your body, just saying thank you once again for the ability to connect with each other tonight during this live. And setting the intention to release anything that needs to be released, uncover anything that wants to be uncovered, gain more clarity for our soul's mission on this earth. And so it is. And if you've closed your eyes, I invite you to come back into the room. So, the topic today is life dreams and spiritual missions, purpose, why we came here, which is a question that I'm constantly asking myself. Why did I come to this earth? What did I come here to do? Do you guys ask this question to yourself? Let me know in the chat. Is it something you've been pondering recently? Where are you on knowing what your mission is? Are you completely unsure? Or are you certain that you know what it is? Which I go in and out. But how's everyone feeling today in terms of what they came here to do? July, you said, I'm certain. I love that for you. That's the ultimate question. I think the universe doesn't even know. Right? Is it ever going to be answered? Eckhart Tolle said that your purpose is whatever you're doing in this moment. And the whole point is to just bring more consciousness into this moment, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're with. And when we bring more consciousness into the moment, our actions are more likely to be of high quality because they are backed by universal love. I was thinking today how it's been a long time, well, relatively, on my journey of learning about spirituality and practicing different spiritual practices. And sometimes I get to a point where I hit a wall or I feel like I need a break. And this happened to me in December. And I was doing a lot of creativity practices, creating things. And I found it really hard to have a break. I was telling myself, oh, I'm going to fail. I almost thought like having a break meant that I was failing, but I just needed a break to really listen to myself, go inwards and listen to what the next steps were. And the whole time I was resisting that, I wasn't hearing the guidance of my higher self because my mind was so focused on not doing the right thing. It was so focused on the negative, and so I wasn't able to really gain the guidance from the universe until I stopped resisting that rest, and then all of the guidance came flooding in, and I realized that yes, I wasn't doing as much work towards my ultimate dream or the things that will get me closer to my dream life, but I was still doing small actions each day that were feeding the dream. So I think it's important that we just feed our dreams each day, even if it's the tiniest action, just to keep the dream alive. Because once we have allowed the dream to die, or we have kind of let fear block us from taking any action towards it, and then maybe it's been so long since we have fed that dream, it can be a lot harder to get yourself to do it again. And so I had to really remind myself it's okay. We didn't abandon the dream. We're still going to work towards it. And it's a tiny step by step process. So, time and tide, you said, I've never thought about it that deeply, but I guess each of us is here for a purpose. Yeah, I agree. I think that we're all so unique and we all have a purpose on the planet because our uniqueness is needed. July, you said, I know nothing about spirituality, but I feel good listening to you and I want to know more about you. Well, I'm glad you're here. Motocross, you have such a great vibe. You should be a vibrator. What's a vibrator? Oh, I get it now. Thank you. Oh, close enough to a high five. Greetings from faraway lands. Greetings. Stephen, took me a long while to see what's really going on in the world. Yeah. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, my love. Hi. Hi, Solo. So, I have a question for you guys. And you can either keep it to yourself, the answer, or you can put your answer in the chat and I'll read them out. We can discuss them. The question is, what is your intuition telling you right now? And if you want to really get an answer for this, what you can do is close your eyes, or you don't have to close your eyes, but I find it easier to close my eyes. And then bring yourself into the body, take a few deep breaths, allow your mind to settle, and then ask yourself, what does my intuition want me to know now? And it's the quickest thing that pops up. The first thing that pops up into your mind the first thing that pops up in your consciousness before your mind gets involved. Shout if to this girl, she's not a religious nut, she talks sense. I'm from England, I'm here for the knowledge. Hey guys, welcome to the chat. Your YouTube channel, Puzzles Puppets. Your intuition is telling you to do your YouTube channel? Solo5211 says, it says to reclaim my energy. Hey, Amy Robbins. Welcome to the chat. Hi, Kif Webb. This live stream is all about spiritual purpose, life dreams. We're currently talking about what our intuition is guiding us to do, and I asked the question to the chat. And so I'm just waiting for people's responses and reading them out. My intuition says, be in the moment, experience life as life unfolds only in the moment. Sharv World? Thank you. That's a really good one. Yes, and so powerful when we do that. Just allow, just be. Stop trying to become and just be. And see what unfolds from there. And that's why I think Eckhart Tolle said about whatever you're doing in the moment is your purpose, because however your expression authentically wants to meet the moment, that is your purpose on this earth. Yes, I guess your intuition guided you here. Hey, Amy Robbins, GN5, XG. My intuition also says I ain't in the bank, but I can still visualize them racks. Yes, you can. Visualize them flowing into you. Yes, stop trying to become, embody. Exactly. And from that state of consciousness, it's interesting to see what flows out. Be a human being, not a human doing. Yes, we can get so lost in doing the next thing all the time, and we're not actually present. I think this is part of the awakening on the planet, and I've been hearing this a lot, like in my inner world, is to slow down. And the other day I was on a walk, and sometimes the most simple messages come through, but they just hit differently. They hit somewhere that you're like, damn, I needed to hear that right now. And then, it really hit me in a way that my mind just slowed down in that moment, and I was like, wow, this is so peaceful. And I looked to my right, and there was a sign, and it said, slow down. And I was like, the universe is chatting. The universe is in the chat. Hi, Amy Robbins. I shouted you out already, my love. Hi, Steve Hannigan. Thank you for joining. Stephen says, I got into Buddhism because it says put yourself in the here and now. Forget the past. Yes. This is something that I really do teach, is being present, being in the present moment, because it has done so much for me in my life to keep bringing myself back. And from that place to meet whatever the circumstance or situation is from a higher state of consciousness. Thank you, Solo. I got this necklace so long ago. It's cool, isn't it? Okay, Time and Tide says, seriously, my intuition is saying to take things a bit more slowly with my work commitments. Okay. Yes, see, there's a massive, I really think there's a really big urge from the spirit realm to get us to slow down. I keep hearing this everywhere. To slow down. And it doesn't necessarily mean on a physical level. It means on a mental level, on a spiritual level, to slow down our thoughts, to slow down our state of consciousness, and then see what we are guided to do from there. I'm not AI, guys. God bless you too, Jesus Christ, 306. Wear Mask said, slowing down conserves resources. Yeah, me too. Honestly, I love thrift shopping, going to charity shops. I think that there is so many clothes on this planet at the moment. I got these two this little poncho thingy, and then a little, I don't know how to, waistcoat thing from charity shops the other day. Guess how much it was, guys? I think it was like £4, and then this was like £4. It's just, I find so many good things in the charity shops in England, and it's so good for recycling. But yeah, slowing down resources. I really agree with this, because I think when we slow down, we also realize that we don't need so many things, because you're able to enjoy the moment for what it is without all of the extra stuff, and know that any peace that you are capable of feeling comes from within. And I think a lot of people on the planet are very attached to material items. Probably me too. Definitely me too. July, you said, my lady, what do you feel about the present time? Well, I feel about the present time, I feel peaceful right now. Hi, is it Afele? Afel Aif Lele? Did I say that right? Hi, Dennis. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Hey. Stephen said, be aware of your thoughts. Yes. I think this is how we evolve as a species into a more harmonic race, because we have to become aware of the patterns that we are playing out in order to change them. That's why we're seeing so much negative things happening, because we are going through a collective purge right now, and it seems to be always getting more intense. But I do think that will start to shift, especially when we start to take responsibility for our own thoughts. The more people that do that, there's a ripple effect that takes place. One thing that I want to emphasize is that every word you speak, every thought that you have, every action that you take has such an impact on the cosmos, whether that is saying something to someone that is a loving thing, how much you can light up someone's day just by smiling at them on the street, giving someone a little compliment, how powerful that can be. And when we treat others without love, that's also extremely powerful in a negative way. And so becoming conscious of how we are using our power as individuals, because we're all so connected. When I used to live in the fast lane, my action was different. Like, who is that guy? Yeah, I love a charity shop. Afla said, it's almost 1 a.m. Should I go study or sleep? What is your intuition saying? What do you think? What's the first thing that comes to your head when you ask yourself that question? I'm from England. My name is Amy. Hi, Stephanie. So many people say I look like Celine Dion. It's so funny. No one's ever said this to me until I started doing lives. And then randomly, like 4 people have told me I look like Celine Dion in the last couple of days. So random. Thank you, Solo, for your sub. I should be seeing you in more lives. Okay, Kif Webb. How do we take responsibility for our thoughts? My thoughts just randomly bubble up in my consciousness. So, the way that we take responsibility for our thoughts is by first becoming aware of them. And like you said, they do randomly bubble up in your consciousness. That doesn't mean that you made it, because I think that's one of the mysteries, is that we don't know where they come from. But you can take responsibility for how you choose to think once you've become aware of something that's bubbled up that maybe you aren't in agreement with. It's all about becoming aware of what's coming up, because when we are unaware, we can't we don't have the choice to then shift into different thoughts. And it's also important not to judge ourselves when maybe a more negative thought bubbles up in our consciousness. It's completely normal. Everyone has it. The collective consciousness is currently experiencing a lot of darkness. And so it is normal to experience that side of the polarity. When we resist the negative thoughts, for example, if I notice something negative that's going on in my system, maybe I'm thinking about something that is more harmful towards myself, then not judging myself for that experience, because those thoughts literally come from, they're not you. They come from conditioning, they come from ancestral patterns, they come from accumulated emotion that has accumulated from when we were children, which is literally an effect of all the conditioning that is being experienced through the collective consciousness. And so that's why when you have anything like that come up, it's important to notice it, feel it, create space between yourself and that thought. Know that you are not that thought, that you're the one observing it. And then from there, you can take responsibility for what kind of things you choose to think. I'll give you an example. I was noticing myself thinking a lot of negative thoughts about how I wasn't doing enough, right? Even though I'm a very productive person, I tend to have this conditioning sometimes that I'm not doing enough, I'm not working hard enough. And I come from a family of people that are very hard workers. And so I noticed those patterns being in me. It was like, no matter how much I do, I never feel like I've done enough. And so for me to take responsibility for that pattern and to start shifting that pattern, I've started to literally speak out loud through my day what I did and why I did it. And it could be as simple as like making a meal, but I'm literally explaining why I'm making this specific meal, why I am doing what I'm doing, how I've chosen the ingredients that I've got have gone into it. So I'm really focusing my mind into what I am doing, which also puts me in this vibration of I am doing enough. Hi, Mariam and Amina and Amelia. July says, I was watching a video about overthinking and how overthinking can make you a better person, and it seriously changed me a bit. Interesting. I would say the opposite. I feel like overthinking is not good for me, but it happens a lot, and so I try to bring myself back into the present moment when that's happening and use my thoughts for positivity to focus on things that actually are necessary. So a lot of the time when we're overthinking, we're having many unnecessary thoughts, and unnecessary thoughts lead to unnecessary actions. Have you ever rode a horse? Yes, I'm allergic to horses, so I had a really bad allergic reaction. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Amina. Is Justin Samuel 77998 says, are you a Slavic girl? No. Keith Webb says, my thoughts can be incredibly dark. It's important to not judge yourself for that and have compassion. When the dark thoughts come in, because the darkness, what happens is when there's darkness in our system, when we place our consciousness on it, the light of our consciousness, I don't want to say removes the darkness, but it shines on the darkness. And obviously darkness can't exist in the presence of light. So when you shine the light of your consciousness on anything in the body, and when I say darkness, you can locate darkness by your feeling body. So if you're having any painful emotions in the body, tension, stress, anxiety, anything that comes from fear, this is a sign that you are thinking more negative or dark thoughts. And so it's a really good practice to start getting in touch with your body, really sending your attention into your body, getting out of the head and coming down. Because when we are able to feel our emotions, then we are able to shine light on any darkness. And I'm not AI. Welcome, Nora. No worries. Thank you, Tian. I'm not a therapist, no. I do teach meditation and I do teach spiritual concepts. I don't know how, what is it? What's a chat mod? Oh, time's out, people in the chat. Okay. Yeah, that is something that I'm going to start doing at some point, to be honest. I'm still getting used to the live, to be honest, guys, because I don't usually do live, but yes, you can ask me a question. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to sort something out on my thing. Hey, guys, welcome. Welcome. How is everyone doing today? I will be continuing with the chat about life dream, but I'm just trying to find something. I'll do it later. So, guys, what can someone tell me? Like, Richard, you know your comment where it's got a little symbol and looks like a Japanese sign with the A. Does anyone know what that symbol means? Hmm. You know, sometimes it's useful to sit in silence and allow whatever needs to come through instead of forcing. A lot of people are so uncomfortable with silence, which is understandable. But when I am quiet, I am just tuning in, allow myself to literally be a channel for the messages that are meant for this chat right now. Can you guys hear me okay? Evening, Stefano. Sometimes it's nice to just sink into the present moment. One thing that is coming to me right now is that whatever you get excited about, whatever lights you up, whatever you just can't help but do, is part of your mission on this planet. And if you ever get stuck with not knowing what options to choose, a really good piece of advice that I got was to imagine yourself in whatever scenario it is that you are finding it difficult to choose between. Imagine yourself in both scenarios, maybe there's more than two, and then notice how you feel. The path that is meant for you will feel expansive in your body when you imagine it. The path that is meant for you will feel like an exhale, a relaxation in the body when you think about doing it. It will feel exciting when you think about it. That could even be choosing whether to stay in a relationship or to leave a relationship, or to quit your job, or to start a business that you've been wanting to start but you've been putting it off for a while. Getting into that state of imagining, you could use your visualization as well, or your senses, to imagine the possibility of you being there, and trust that if you are feeling expansive when you are thinking about that, then it's something that your soul is wanting to do. And this is where self-trust becomes really important, because when we do not act on our soul's guidance, our higher self, when we don't act on what our higher self is asking us to do, we create a distrust within our system. But when we do act on our intuition, on our inner guidance, we start to build our self-trust, and it gets stronger and stronger every time. And you start to notice that, okay, when I follow my intuition, when I follow what my heart wants me to do, the things that I was worried about, the things that I was so scared would happen, usually don't. Usually it's all an illusion that our brain is conjuring up to protect us. Not to say that every time you follow your intuition, you're going to end up in a situation that's going to be just butterflies and rainbows, because that's not reality. Sometimes our intuition does actually lead us into situations that can be painful and challenging, but that is because the universe wants to push us to expand, to grow, and we grow through challenges. And when we avoid what it is that we really want, we keep ourselves stuck on a certain level in terms of in relation to whatever it is, like that area of our life, whether it be relationships or career or whatever it is. And when we really go for what we want, we realize that there's a certain amount of discomfort that we have to go through in order to become the person that we want to become. And I know I said earlier to stop trying to become and just be, but in terms of choosing a direction that is in alignment with our higher self, usually there's a gap between where we are now and where our highest potential is. And you can get inspiration, intuitive guidance from your higher self. You might have an image of how you visualize yourself to be, what kind of actions you will be taking, or what kind of things you want to create in your life, what kind of things you want to call in. And it's only when you start to try to close that gap that all of the conditioning and the patterns that keep you from realizing that higher version of yourself are going to start to come up. And this can be extremely painful, because when these patterns start to come up, they come to the surface, so we feel them in the body. But it's important to know that when you feel a pattern in the body, when you feel discomfort, when you feel painful emotions that are coming up, because you've connected with your higher self, and so stuff is coming up to resist, that is part of the process of the transformation. And all you need to do is to feel into whatever it is that's coming up. That's literally all you need to do. Just feel into it. There's many spiritual practices. There's many ways you can meditate. There's many different things you can do, like shadow work. But for me, the most important thing is that we are feeling into our bodies. We're feeling into what is coming up, because when we feel into whatever is coming up, whatever is resisting us from aligning with our higher self, the minute we feel it, it no longer has any power. When you fully feel it, and you're not feeling it to try and get rid of it, and this is really important, when you're feeling an emotion, don't feel it to try and get rid of it. Don't even think, okay, why is this not going? This should be going. As soon as you notice them thoughts, bringing yourself back to the emotion. When you do this, you have located yourself within the pattern, within that resistance. You're no longer playing out the pattern from an unconscious place, and you stop the cycle of emotions creating thoughts and thoughts creating emotions. just by placing your attention, your focus on whatever it is that you're feeling. And some people find it really difficult to feel their feelings because they have been suppressing them for so long that it can be actually difficult for some people to even feel into their hands, for example, or feel into, you might, like I sometimes when I'm teaching people meditation, I say to them, bring your attention to your shoulders, and they don't know what I mean. And that's a normal thing because many people have not tapped into their emotions. And so it's a practice then to start to familiarize yourself with the feeling body. And so it's small steps each day towards going deeper into how you're feeling. And that might begin with just your hands, because the hands have so many sensors that it's a really easy place to start with. So if you find it hard to feel any emotion in the body, start by, for a couple weeks maybe, doing a meditation by feeling into your hands. And the more you do this, the more sensitive you'll get to the inner body. And it can be quite uncomfortable when you start to feel into difficult emotions. But just know that when you feel into an emotion, it starts to dissolve. July says, I feel a strong urge to tell you that you are a wonderful soul and I like how you think, although I am quite unsure of what spirituality is. Spirituality is all to do with your state of consciousness. This is what Eckhart Tolle said, it has nothing to do with what you believe, and it has everything to do with your state of consciousness. And I love that definition. It's very simple. I think the word spirituality has a lot of connotations, and people can think it's very woo-woo and crazy and out there, and it does get woo-woo and crazy and out there. That's just the reality of our existence. There's so much mystery and weird things happening and things that we don't understand, things that we can't answer. But when it comes down to it, when we are practicing when we are engaging with spirituality, we are shifting our state of consciousness. A lot of the emotions and feelings when meditating you speak of are the same as I experience at my Reiki sessions. Yeah, oh, that's cool. I guess if you're going to a Reiki session, you might be also sensing the state of consciousness of the person that's doing the Reiki. If they're very present, then, guys, did you know that when we are present, when we are tapped into the present moment, when we are conscious, spiritually speaking, other people can feel it subconsciously, and you start to entrain with the energy field of other people. And that's why I do believe that the more people that wake up to their essence, which is consciousness, the observer, it will just start to ripple out. That's why so many people are starting to go through spiritual awakenings, and there's so much spiritual content online, and it's becoming more and more accepted and normal to talk about spiritual things because we are just activating each other. And that's one thing that you can remind yourself of when I'm feeling like in a disempowered state, is that my presence alone is so valuable. Just me being in the room, not talking, but being in a calm, peaceful state has such an effect on the people around you, has an effect on the animals, the plants. Just being awakening consciousness is extremely valuable. That's why I always think that my aura, my energy, my state of consciousness is way more important than anything I can do to myself on the external. Joe Long, 7095. Is spirituality achieved through rationality, emotion, or aesthetics? I think that when you say is spirituality achieved, I think that what you're saying is spiritual evolution achieved through rationality, emotion, or aesthetics. What's coming to me right now is that currently on the planet, at the current time that we are living in, there is so much potential for humans to understand our system. So currently, we're not taught how to use our system as a spiritual, divine being to tap into the intelligence that runs our system and work with it in a harmonious way. We're actually taught the opposite. We're taught to deny our feelings, deny our intuitions, and we're not taught how to have healthy relationships with ourselves. And so when we have healthy relationships with ourselves, this starts to ripple out in our relationships with others. And so it is, let me go back to that question, achieved through rationality and knowing how to use the emotions. We have emotions for a reason. We have our human mind for a reason, but we aren't consciously using it. So something that I am teaching is how to become a master of your emotional experience in order to be in alignment. Our emotions are always telling us whether we've come out of alignment or not. And Russell said it's what's in your heart that counts. This is true. The heart is connected to the spiritual realm. It's the part of us that is divine. And it's so easy for our mind to fog the direction of our heart. It's so easy to get, because I really do think that like heart, intuition, higher self, universe, all of these, well, not maybe not universe, but those things, our heart, our intuition, our higher self, are what connects us to the universe and the infinite intelligence of the universe. And our human side, our mind, which is contains a lot of conditioning and programming, which some of which we will never be able to get rid of. It's not like the conditioning as a human, as you've come into this body, you're always going to have some conditioning, but there is an amount of conditioning that a certain amount of conditioning that is quite harmful for us. And so when your heart or your intuition or your higher self has a message for you and it wants you to do something, or you are being guided to either, it could be anything, literally, it could be to eat healthier, it could be to exercise, it could be to communicate something to someone, it could be to create something, start a business, quit a job, stay in a job. When our heart is guiding us to do something, our conditioning very quickly starts to be revealed by the thoughts that come up in reaction to our intuition. And this is something that I noticed within myself, is when I'm trying to do something that my higher self wants to do. And I know my higher self wants to do it because it feels so good in my body when I imagine doing it. But the instant reaction of the mind is to come up with all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. All the reasons why you are safer if you don't do this. All the reasons why you shouldn't set a boundary with that person because you're scared that they're going to say something, or that you're scared of their reaction. Or I shouldn't start this business because I'm scared that it's going to fail, or even that it's going to succeed and I'm not going to be able to handle it. All of these things that the mind starts to create, they cloud our intuition. I have a really good analogy that I got from this lady called Marianne Williamson, I believe. And she said that the intuition is always there. It's like the blue sky. So if you imagine the sky, you, your higher self, your soul, your intuition, where your heart resides, that is the blue sky. Your mind, on the other hand, is creating thoughts, and these are the clouds. And so when our mind is, especially when we're unconscious of our thoughts, these thoughts, like I said before, they create emotion, emotion creates thoughts, and this is a spiral that you can just keep spiraling down and down and down until the fog gets so dense that you don't know what is your intuition and what is your mind. It can be really difficult to know what's what when you're in that state. So the practice of becoming aware of, like I said, putting your attention on the feeling is going to stop that loop. It's going to stop feeding it. start lifting out of the fog, and then the clouds start to clear, and your intuition becomes more and more obvious. Sorry, guys, I'm just catching up on the chat. I am, by the way, blocking people from adding comments if I feel the need to. So please be respectful in the chat. I do want to create a very safe and enjoyable space. Okay, so different shades of grey said, I dreamed of something watermelon inside the spider web of 4 hands on. Explain to me based on your spiritual enlightenment, please. Right. I'm going to explain to you a really good way to interpret your dreams. So what you want to do is you can write down your dream, and every element that you remember in your dream, you're going to write down underneath it, I am, and then this element. So I'll give you an example. Maybe in the dream that you had about the watermelon, you remember being you. And so you're going to start off by writing, I am me, and then everything that you felt in the dream, your perspective from your perspective in the dream. And then you're going to take an element from your dream, like, for example, the watermelon, and you're going to write, I am the watermelon. And then you're going to write how it feels to be the watermelon. So you could say something like, I'm the watermelon. I don't know. I'm so sick of being stuck in this spider web. And then you can write it from the spider web's perspective. I am the spider web. I want friends, so I caught a watermelon. This is just like me just thinking of random things, but it can be really good way because in our dreams we are instantly projecting these different parts of us in a very symbolic way. Becoming those different parts in your dream, and it can even be the environment in your dream. Like I've done it with the environment I'm in. It's like I'm in the woods and it feels dark and it feels like, you know, fill in the blank. And it tells you a lot about your current state of being and what your subconscious is currently wanting you to understand about what is going on in your system. And it's important to question what comes up. if it's true, if it's not true, disidentify with it. July says, do you think that dreams can predict future? Yes. Stephen says, I have the same dream every night. I was inside the watermelon, but many people were inside the watermelon trapped by a spider web. Try the exercise, write down what it would be like from the perspective of all the people, the watermelon, the spider web. See what comes. You might have some really interesting insights, and it might link to, it probably will link to some stuff that you're going through in your life. Hi David, I'm good. How are you? Hey, the amazing energetic Joshua. Welcome to the chat. Bye Terry, thanks for coming. Hi Cat23RD. We're talking about, well, we started talking about life purpose and spiritual purpose, and then I started answering some questions, and we were talking about, I can't remember now. We were talking about interpreting dreams a minute ago. Interpreting dreams actually is a really good way to get back in alignment, because you can uncover what's going on in your subconscious and then disidentify with it, or even realize what it is that you're wanting. I keep having a dream I'm wearing my sister's dress or skirt to school and my mates bash me up. Okay, so maybe you could write down, like for example, in this example, you can, from your perspective, write how you're feeling when you're wearing your sister's dress. Write, like, what is it that's going through your mind when you imagine yourself in this situation? How does it feel to be in that situation? And then flip to your mates who are bashing you up, and then write down how it feels to be them. Why are they doing that? How are they feeling about you? Because they are an aspect of you in the dream. Our dreams are just aspects of us in symbolic form. I always have dreams about my childhood home as well. Sometimes I just dream that I'm still living there. Hey, welcome to the chat. Please don't spam. Welcome. I'm from England. A lot of the time as well, our dreams are showing us where we are in resistance to whatever it is that we want to manifest. So when you really understand why something's coming up in a dream, you can you can uncover certain patterns or beliefs that you're holding on to. They're ready to be surfaced. That's why they're coming out in your dream. Because maybe in the day you're not able to access that part of yourself, but it comes up in the dream. And so if you pay attention to your dreams and write down your dreams every morning, or as much as you can, then you can have really transformational effects from doing this. Do dreams reflect current stress or deeper subconscious issues? I think both, because a lot of the time, well, it can definitely be both. And a lot of the time they're linked. Like our current stress is a reflection of deeper subconscious issues. See, my advice is always to not even Google what it means, because Google cannot know you like you know you. The best person to interpret your dream is always yourself. No one can tell you why you're manifesting certain things in a dream. Yes, I do think that it can be helpful to look up symbolism and stuff like that, maybe to get ideas and to expand your ability to interpret your own dream. But I think we should all always interpret our own dreams, because deep down we know deep down why we're having that. Your system knows why it's having that dream, but you've just got to be able to tap into that intelligence and be able to trust the intelligence to extract what you're able to extract from it. And also, because someone said dreams can be a lot of things, and the thing that came to mind for me was when you have a dream, because a lot of the time we wake up and we forget many aspects of the dream, but the things you want to focus on is the stuff that is the most memorable. That's the most important thing. That's what needs to be interpreted. Focus on how you felt as well in the dream. Are dreams connected to trauma or unresolved experiences? 100%. Yeah. But they can be. I think dreams can be They can be all different types of things. Like sometimes I think that we're able to connect with each other through our dreams. We connect with other souls in our dreams. Sometimes we receive messages from angels in our dreams or people that have passed or certain, like Jesus can come to you in your dreams and give you messages. So I don't know the extent. I think you're entering into a realm of infinite possibilities. So it depends on your state of consciousness when you're awake. It's going to very much influence your experience in the dream world. That's why if you're really conscious in your waking life, you're more likely to have lucid dreams. Yes, dreams are a platform for a lot of things. I hear people telling me in sleep paralysis that this is what they told me all the time and this is how they watch me and called me number 9. No, I'm not an actress. Can dreams reveal fears I'm not aware of? Yeah. Dreams can reveal a lot of things that we're not aware of because when we sleep, our subconscious is being processed. The things that we have experienced throughout the day is being processed whilst we're sleeping. And so, if you pay attention to your dreams, you can become aware of things that are rooted in fear. But again, it can be very symbolic. And it's up to you to understand the meaning of what those symbols are. And intuitively, you'll know. You always know. Just the mind can get in the way and start trying to analyze it in a way that is not conducive to the intuitive knowing. Are dreams random or meaningful? I think that dreams are a reflection of our state of consciousness, of our subconscious. So things are often bubbling up into the surface. When they're ready to come out from the subconscious, they'll come out. And one way that you can become aware of shadowy parts of yourself that have been suppressed, is through interpreting your dreams. The more that you interpret your dreams, the more aware of your dreams that you'll become as well. If you write down your dream every day, you're more likely to be aware of your dreams. Could dreams be messages sent from above? Yes. I do think so because I have experienced things like that. where I felt this overwhelming sense of receiving a message that I really needed to receive, and completely shifted the trajectory of my life because I had listened to the message that I was getting in the dream. And it was so intense. And I don't feel like it came from me. I felt like it came from God, which sounds crazy to say, but it was so intense. There's many ways to see our unconscious, and for me, the best way is just observing your internal world every day. Every single day, a new part of you is being revealed. More than one, probably. When you interact with other people, other humans, and you go into different situations, things get revealed through when you get triggered, when you feel an emotion come through. It's something in your subconscious that's being triggered. You said that you love eating, and sometimes I literally dream about wanting to eat like a pizza or a burger in my dream, and I'm almost about to eat it, but always something comes up and I can't eat it. Well, that can be interpreted in many ways. Do reoccurring dreams change when personal growth happens? Yeah. Because say there's a pattern, right, in your subconscious. Once that pattern has been dissolved, there's nothing to, there's no, how do I explain this? Once you've dissolved a pattern, then it's not going to keep manifesting in your life. So your dreams will not be the same. If you're having a reoccurring dream, you really want to look into why that is coming up. Like really sit down and write down the reoccurring dream, how you feel when it's happening, what meaning you think it has. And let your intuition just write down what you think it means. And especially when you go into that practice of imagining that you're all the different elements in the dream and then writing down specific things. And it could be literally that you notice there's a tree and that tree looks a certain way or it feels a certain way. And how does it feel? What does it want you to know? My dog keeps licking my hand. Thank you, Solo. Hey, Tammy. People think God is sat on a throne upstairs. He's not. We're all in the God. We're all the gods of the universe inside us. I agree. I think that we are all expressions of God, and God is centralizing, or the universe is centralizing its focus into many different forms and experiencing life in many different forms. Thanks, Tan Polyak 8204. I appreciate it. Are dreams reflection signals coming again to us, like sort of how light reflective to some surface and come back? I don't know how to answer that. Charlotte May said, what should I do for my GCSE? What are the options? What do you want to do? What's the first thing that comes to you when you ask yourself that question? Not what anyone else is telling you to do. What do you want to do? What makes you the most excited? What lights you up the most? Sorry for flooding all these questions. Please don't be sorry. I love answering your questions. Is there a connection between insomnia and intense dreams? I don't know because I've never had insomnia. But I do think that insomnia is. I can't really speak on it too much because I haven't had it, but I have had moments where I can't sleep. And I guess that could be due to anything, but some form of misalignment with the emotions, the physical, and the mind. Okay, Charlotte, you said drama is the first thing that comes to you. Then you have an answer. Drama that my school said you have to do math, English, and history. Okay, but is the math, English, and history, they're compulsory, right? And you have some things that you're able to choose. Happy birthday to your friend Nick Gear. I have a spaniel. I'm currently looking after her sister as well. How do I know if a dream is intuition versus imagination? When it comes to figuring out whether something is your intuition or not, what you need to do is listen to everything that's coming up and then question where it's coming from. For example, let's say that you have a feeling come up and you have lots of thoughts connected with that feeling. You want to tune in with the feeling, ask it why it's there, what it wants you to know, and really start to uncover where everything in your system is coming from. Because, like I said before, when you have intuition, but you have thoughts that are clouding your intuition, it's very hard to see what is intuition and what is not intuition, what is coming from fear. So the only way to start to untangle this is to look at all of it. Become aware of all of it, and then you can start to identify where the thoughts are coming from. Does that make sense? Sorry, Ace, what was your question? You're welcome to fall asleep to the stream, my darling. So on the 3rd of March, I am doing a ceremony. I'm doing a full moon ceremony. Is it the full? Yeah, full moon ceremony on Tuesday for the live, because I am going live for 30 days and today is the 4th day out of 30. Maybe it will continue if I fancy doing it more, but the full moon ceremony is on Tuesday. And look, it's 1111 on the live, which is what perfect time to talk about it. Um I am gonna keep the recording of this live stream on my channel. Yeah. So I haven't kept the other ones, but I think I will today. So O'Doyle Rules 1-1 said it. What exactly is transformative living? I mean, for me, transformative living is using challenges to transform, using challenging times to refine your subconscious by becoming aware of what it is that is coming up during the challenge, during that difficult period, by focusing on how you feel, by placing your attention on how you feel, and allowing whatever surfaces to surface, becoming aware of patterns or beliefs or thoughts that are not conducive to your highest timeline. Transformative living for me is What are you thinking about full moon? Is it going to be a red moon or a blood moon? I don't know. I read somewhere it was going to be a worm moon. But so it's going to be a full moon in Virgo. And so during the ceremony, I'm going to be talking about why we do full moon ceremonies, why we do moon ceremonies. And I can talk a little bit about it now if you want me to. Let me know in the chat. And we can also, and I'm also going to be talking about the energy of the full moon in Virgo, and it is Pisces season, which I get so excited about Pisces season. So we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be explaining the energy of the current moment and how we can tap into it, especially during the full moon. So the reason why we do moon ceremonies is because the moon is very much connected to our subconscious realms. So the moon controls the tides on the earth, and your body is made up of 70% water. I think it's 70%. And so the moon is constantly influencing the water in our bodies. And in astrology, water is connected to the subconscious, the emotions, something that I obviously talk about a lot. And so when we do full moon ceremonies, we are using the energy to transform our subconscious mind, which is the most powerful way to level yourself up into your highest timeline. Not just doing full moon ceremonies, but I mean reprogramming your subconscious. So every month when you do a full moon ceremony, or when you'll see how just taking that decision to do these practices is going to have a ripple effect on the rest of your life. When you tap into your subconscious realm and you set intentions on the full moon, you're setting yourself up for the manifestation of whatever it is that you want to create. July said, "Where do you get this knowledge from? I'm fascinated." I've been geeking out on spirituality since I was like 19 or 20 years old. So it's been about 10 years. And I am just also very Piscean in nature. So my brain is very much conducive to spiritual concepts. They click in my brain really easily because I don't know, I just understand these things. Different Shades of Grey says, "Why my subconscious mind is not more logical to me." What do you mean? Can you expand on that question? I'm also Sun, Moon, Venus, and North Node in Pisces. Wow. Welcome, fellow Pisces. Must be your birthday soon. Are you also a very spiritual person? Obviously, you can be spiritual with any sign, but Pisces is known for being a very spiritual. It's all to do with the subconscious realms, just like the moon. Pisces, the moon controls the tides, the water, but also Pisces is water. I got Saturn in Pisces and North Node with Pluto in the 12th house. Guys, you're gonna love the moon ceremonies. So much fun. Okay, so also during the moon ceremony on Tuesday, like I was saying, we're gonna take you through the astrology of the day. We're gonna use the astrology to ask specific questions. And then we're going to do some journaling. We're going to do a little meditation to help us drop into our intuition, clear the mind. And then we're going to do some journaling prompts. And there'll be an opportunity for you to share whatever comes up if you feel like you want to. And we can all chat about it. I'm so excited. Make sure you don't miss. How do eclipses or planetary shifts influence energy, symbolically or spiritually? For me, the way I imagine it is that everything is always affecting everything. Like we're all just in this soup of energetic mishmash. And so I guess I don't know exactly the specifics of how eclipses or planets influence energy, but all I know is that when certain planets are positioned in the sky in certain places, this is like a map for the current energy on Earth. And so each planet has a different symbolic meaning. Like with the moon being influencing the water, symbolically, this is influencing our emotions and our subconscious, whereas Mercury being an influence on communication, I think. Or is it Mars? Let's check. Mercury is communication, I think. Hang on. Yes, so it's going to have an effect on how you communicate, language. Okay, bye, July. Thank you for coming. What, the French fry? You're so pretty. That's hilarious. Thank you. What, the French fry? Vanessa Prosper says, I love your hair. Thank you, my darling. So which astrology are you using, Western or Eastern? The astrology that I usually look up is esoteric astrology. Is esoteric astrology. I'm going to look this up. I think it's Western. Yeah, it's part of the Western tradition. Do I believe in Jesus Christ? Yes, I do believe in Jesus Christ. I think that Jesus he's very present on this planet through our collective consciousness, through the spiritual realms, always connecting with us if we invite him in. You have to invite Jesus in to be able to get guidance and help from him. But you can feel it when you do ask him for help, or even just ask him for a hug. I often imagine myself just being hugged by Jesus, and it feels great. Or you can imagine other people being hugged by Jesus. There's this lady called Marianne Williamson, and I've read quite a lot of her books, and she talks about how before you meet someone, imagine Jesus hugging them, and you'll have a much more loving interaction. Are you Aussie? No, I'm English. What do the moon phases symbolize in personal cycles? Well, it will depend where your moon is positioned. Do you like cheese? I do like cheese, but I am not eating cheese. I stay away from dairy. Guys, I am removing spammy questions and spammy messages, by the way. If it's way far out of the topic, I will remove, because I want to keep the chat on the topic. So anyone that comes in can get involved in the conversation. I don't know the answer to that question about the waxing crescent. I'm not an astrology expert, but I do use it for my moon ceremonies, and I learn as I go. Hey. So I'm just gonna see. Okay, guys, let me just quickly go to the toilet and I'll come back, okay? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Who wants to say hello to the dog? Betty. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through. And I'm going to be going live again tomorrow at 7. I don't know the topic yet, but I like to do things very spontaneously and see what comes through in the moment. It's always different. And I'm always talking about spiritual things, the spiritual perspectives of life. Who wants to do a little meditation right now? I have I have piercing. I have 2 piercings, one in this ear, one in this ear. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys the question that I was asking in the beginning of this live and see if there's any other answers. The the question that I want you to answer, and if obviously you can answer this for yourself, you don't have to share it, but feel free to share. The question is, what is your intuition telling you right now? You can ask yourself the question, and then what pops up straight away. It's the quickest answer. I'll tell you what my intuition is telling me right now. Let me just ask the question to myself. My intuition is telling me right now to bring this live to a close very soon. So maybe we can just sit here for a couple moments of stillness. Dan, hey, welcome. I was just about to say, I was just saying that I'm about to go very soon. I'm just waiting, not waiting, but I'm just allowing myself to sit in stillness to see if anything else wants to come up before I go. My shoulders look tense. You're driving. Going anywhere exciting? Something that I love to do to calm myself is to just look around the room. Just notice. I love to sit in silence, guys. Like, I really do enjoy sitting in silence. Very peaceful for me. I notice my mind start to calm down. Okay, guys, before I go, then I'm going to take you through a little meditation. And I invite you to get comfortable Obviously, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But that didn't really need to be said. And I invite you to close down your eyes though, if you want to. I'm just going to take you through a little practice with the intention of bringing you into the present moment, experiencing the peace. So just begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Maybe you want to get comfortable. It's really good to have a straight back when you're doing a meditation because we want to stay alert. And just taking a deep breath in through the nose. Just following the breath with your awareness. Noticing it going all the way into the nostrils, down the throat, into the belly. Imagining your belly expanding with your inhale. And then imagining that your body is relaxing with your exhale. And just start to notice the space in between your thoughts. Just allowing any thoughts to pass by like clouds, observing them, and just letting them pass without any judgment. And if you notice anything in your body right now that is calling for your attention, maybe some tightness, some uncomfortable feelings, maybe some tension, some tingling, just bring your attention into that area. Just allow your awareness to rest in this area of your body that is asking for your attention. Knowing that when you do this, you soften anything that is uncomfortable with the light of your awareness. Just continuing to be aware of anything that is currently alive in your internal world. Not trying to change it, not trying to get rid of anything uncomfortable, maybe anything that feels good. Just fully feeling into it. See how deep you can go into it. And know that all feelings, all emotions are constantly changing, constantly in motion. And when we put our attention on them, we give them the space to transform. to be expressed, and to live out their life cycle. And as you continue to breathe, imagine a light in the center of your chest, a small ball of light in your heart space. Feel the warmth of the light radiating from your heart space as it expands out to the rest of your body. Knowing that you can tap into this love at any moment of the day, just by quieting the mind, bringing your attention into your heart space. I'm just giving you a few moments to really feel what it feels like to focus your attention into the body. Is there any discomfort? Any tension? It's all completely normal. Just noticing what thoughts are connected to any feelings that you're having. Knowing that when you observe your thoughts and your feelings, create a little bit of space between you, your essence, your consciousness, and that you're experiencing. You realize that those thoughts, those feelings are not you. You're simply just experiencing them. And as we bring this meditation to a close, I just want you to take one last deep breath in through your nose. And then let it all go out through the mouth. And if you close your eyes, feel free to open your eyes and come back. Notice how you feel now compared to when we started. Thank you, Cat 23 RD. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Hi, Lily. I'm gonna jump off this live now, guys. It was so nice connecting with you all again. Thanks for coming, Dan. Always a pleasure. And did you hear what I was saying about the moon ceremony? To anyone that has joined that hasn't heard about this, I'm doing a full moon ceremony on Tuesday, and you'll be able to access it in my members area. So I invite you to come along. We're going to be doing some subconscious work, guiding you through processes to transform anything that needs to be transformed. That's what I do best. And I'll be back here tomorrow as well at 7 p.m. on live again. But until then, have a lovely evening, guys, or morning, wherever you are tuning in from. And I send you virtual hugs. Thank you so much. Peace. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. And I'll see you in the next live.